Hello everybody, as you can guess from the title, today we're going to be making lamb chops. Now the first thing I'm going to do with my lamb chops is Frenching it, which is basically removing all of the excess meat and fat from the bones. Frenching it makes the lamb rack or lamb chops look much more cleaner. Now I know this removes a lot of fat and a lot of protein, but I do want it to have a nice presentation. I will say that this is my first time making lamb chops, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Now after Frenching your lamb racks, the bones should be clean and nice for presentation. And what you should do after that is salt and pepper it. The way that we'll be cooking our lamb is essentially the same way as you cook a steak. We're going to try to aim for medium rare, but since I have no thermometer, we're just going to use our own initiative. Now the way that people can check for if it's medium rare is by touching the lamb. If you touch it with 2 fingers and then touch the vein of your own body, it should have the same texture. The meat should have the same texture as your vein, and that's medium rare. So what we're going to do now is we're going to salt and pepper our lamb. You don't want to add too much salt. In this video, I actually added a little bit too much salt to my lamb rack. You can add as much pepper as you want to lamb, and yeah. Now what you have to do is you have to cook the lamb rack, and the way that we're going to cook it is by having a cast iron. First of all, put some olive oil in and put some garlic cloves. Just put 1 garlic clove cut in half. If you want, you can add some rosemary, some thyme. In any case, what we did was we put the garlic down, and we were going to put the lamb rack in fat side down. The reason why we want to put it fat side down is to render off the fat and this makes it so that the metallic taste of the lamb goes away. So after you caramelize the fat, what you want to do is just flip it over, making the meat nice and brown. I will say, when we put the cast iron on the flames, we immediately put the lamb in, as to caramelize and get rid of that excess fat immediately, as we don't want to put it into a hot pan, as the fat might burn and there will be a lot of smoke. We want to prevent that from happening. In any case, after we brown the lamb and we turn it around, searing all sides of the lamb, you can also add butter, as I did here. You want to put it into the oven, which I preheated at 180 degrees, and I left it in there for about 15 minutes. When you chop the lamb rack, what you want to do is you want to take the bone, take your knife, cut it into the sections of lamb, and actually pull away from the lamb rack. You want to pull that bone away from the lamb rack. This will separate that bone that's holding the rack together. Don't be worried that the meat will fall off or the meat will come off the bone, as this won't happen. I didn't realize this at first, but when my dad helped me cut the lamb chops into different pieces, it was actually much easier than I expected. In that case, what you can do after you take your lamb rack and what you can do after you take your lamb rack out of the oven and put it onto a plate, or put it onto a cutting board, as I did, you can add some butter on top, that excess butter from the cast iron, and you can add some mint and coriander on top of the lamb. This will make it have a nice presentation. In any case, I hope that you enjoyed my video of how to make a lamb rack, and try it yourself. It's pretty good. Thank you and goodbye.